MFF 2024. Let's do the con recap, and I'll tell you guys all the fun stories about what happened to me this con, because let me tell you, despite me having the most rough start to a furry convention I think I've ever had, it still ended up being a banger, amazing con, and I wouldn't have traded any of my experiences for the world. The only thing that I might have wanted to trade off with it is like if I could have gotten there on Wednesday instead of Thursday, which, you know, you take what you can get, but honestly, I still had an amazing time. A lot of new experiences, a lot of new tries at new things, and honestly, it went so incredibly well, and I am so grateful for my friends, my roommates, the people that I interacted at the con for making it as amazing as it is. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much. Genuinely, thank you. But let's get on with the con recap. I'm sorry, the first thing I see is the collage of pictures that Frey took of me. So, fun fact, after every con that I get back from, when I'm with Frey, he always sends me, like, a folder of all the photos he takes of my face. I think we have a new winner, and a new emote. I think this was after that shot of tequila Kyoju ended up pouring for all of us, which I swear to God, it was not a shot. It was like 2.5. But there's a lot to go over. Look, you can already see where the effort goes away after a little bit. So like, first day, okay, organize that. Second day, organize that. Third day, who gives a fuck? Just throw as many photos as you can in a line. And then fourth day, just like, whatever. What happened whenever? Sure, figure it out, beta. Yeah, MFF for me was from like Thursday afternoon to Monday afternoon, give or take. And honestly, it was a pretty banging con. So let's go over what happened during this con for me. Starting off with Thursday, late in the morning. I didn't end up going to bed till like 5. So this is from me at like 2 a.m. I had to leave to the airport by 6 a.m. My flight was at 11, but there was a snowstorm hitting, and my friend Ryder, my lovely, wonderful friend Ryder, big shout out to Ryder, for picking me up so goddamn early in the morning and driving me for 4 hours to Boston in the middle of a snowstorm so I make my flight in time. I had left at 6 a.m. I said I had to leave at 7. That was a fucking lie. We had to leave earlier than that. And spoilers, I almost missed my flight even still. So, all right, finished packing. It's 1:30 in the morning. I leave for my flight at 7 in the morning and still have to edit a video, finish 2 thumbnails, and get some sleep. Surely a game of Deadlock wouldn't hurt, would it? Spoilers. It was worth it. Literally my best game. Most souls, most kills, least middle of the road devs, most assists. This is when I actually picked a build that a Twitch streamer known as Average Jonas uses. He's like a wonderful, amazing Deadlock player. Used his build. Actually worked out pretty well for me. So you know what? That was worth it. Also, this is the song I went into the con with to hype me up. So if you want to know what I was listening to at the con, on my way to the con, this one was it. And this was also my Spotify Unwrapped. It kind of sucks being a streamer too who doesn't have a secondary account. So a lot of the music that I listen to is through Spotify. So you can tell I listened to and streamed more than I listened to music. But for the rest of what I listened to, this is what I did. My First Story, Eve, Huya Extended. Don't know what that band is. But yeah, I'm more of a J-Rock guy. That's really it. Started off the con, seeing that MFF was trending on Twitter. Pretty cool. Here's what it looked like on my way to the airport, driving on the highway. I wasn't driving, my friend was, to clarify. So yeah, it was a bit of a shit show getting there. I ended up getting there right on time. This is me exhausted as fuck. So for context, roughest start to a con for me. Woke up, drove to the airport, took 4 hours. My flight left at 11:15. I got there at 10:30. They were already boarding, and I had about 10 minutes after getting out of check-in to get through TSA pre-check and run to my gate before they closed the doors. For some reason, they still took my checked bag. After literally getting all my bag tags and everything, I got in line. There was this sweet little old lady behind me who was like, "Excuse me, could I go ahead of you? I gotta get to my flight." And despite me really struggling and panicking that I'm not gonna make my flight, I still let her go. Because who can say, like, she's asking nicely. She's got like 3 bags with her. She's all by herself. I'm like, go, of course, go on ahead. She goes ahead of me. There's like one person working at the desk to do like bags and all that. I look over and she gets in line. I don't hear what's going on. She's talking to the service person. She puts her bag on the scale. It goes back to her. She opens her bag and starts reorganizing stuff in it into the other bags so that it weighs the certain amount. I'm like, you cannot be serious. Of all the moments for this to happen, it had to be now. So I was panicking. I got up to the desk. I'm like, hey, I don't think I'm gonna make my flight at this point. It's this flight to here. And she's like, oh, you're already like checked in and good. I'll take your bags, even though I'm not supposed to have my bags taken 40 minutes before the flight. They took my bags just fine. I booked it to TSA pre-check. I had 5 minutes before they closed the doors. Of course, in Logan Airport, my flight gate is in the farthest fucking area to go. I have to go underneath and up this bunch of stairs to the completely other side of the airport. So I'm like, perfect. So as soon as I get out of pre-check, I sprinted. I have never ran that fucking fast on adrenaline in my life. I collapse at the gate terminal. And she's like, oh, you're all good. Are you okay? Turns out I had an asthma attack. I had asthma. The last time I actually had asthma affect me when I was 8 years old. And I was under the impression that that shit goes away. It does not. So I get to the terminal. My heart is pounding. I am breathing so heavily, but it feels like I can't catch my breath. They check my ticket. I get in. I'm all cleared. Home free. I didn't catch my breath till 30 minutes into the flight. Dead ass. I had to close my eyes and like try to meditate so as to not like pass out. It was bad. My legs were tight from running. I was cramped in my fucking seat. I had no water. I could barely breathe. And I'm like, at least I made it. But I promised myself, I am not dying on this fucking flight. I'm making it to MFF if I made it this far. So I survived. But I was exhausted after the flight. Didn't sleep, you know, I still slept. I got like a good nap in 3 hours before the flight. But yeah, flight itself was kind of boring. I just kind of perused Twitter, and luckily, you know, furries managed to get like 3 to 4 different drama topic videos for me to cover at some point. Not even before the con started, so that's pretty cool that we managed to get that to happen. But flight was okay. It was kind of boring. This was me after everything was said and done. My face of absolute joy. Absolute joy. Got to the baggage claim. Got my stuff. I had to check my bag. Like, this is my fursuit head bag. I had to check my fursuit head. No choice but to do that. And I'm like, whatever. It's going in last. He should be fine. Yeah. But yeah, the IKEA bag for the fursuit tote. Yeah, it works out. Got out. Made my way to the shuttle area. It was freezing cold. It was like maybe 20 degrees at max outside. I had everything on and I was so tired. Also used my glasses to help me go incognito. Didn't actually need them. Didn't work at all. Someone still recognized me. I'm like, hey, can we wait till before the con, please? Pretty please. They're like, oh yeah, sure, don't worry. I'm like, thank you. This is me freezing in the cold. This is me having a moment. Then I finally made it to MFF. Literally get there. I get my room, meet my roommates, drop off my stuff, see the tentacle statue, high tentacle statue underneath the elevators. And then I meet up with Cody and Jake, and Cody wanted to get in fursuit. Look at Cody. Oh, he's such a cutie. I love Cody. But, he wanted to go around, so I followed him a little bit while he was suiting around, wanted a handle for him, and just went around and said hi to friends, got some really nice pics of him. Eventually met up with, Nova and friends. Nova stole my phone and took some selfies on my phone. There's Nova taking selfies, and then there's us looking up at the lights. It's very flashbang-like. And pretty much all I was running off of that day was, like, maybe a breakfast sandwich in the morning, coffee, and some Red Bulls. So when I had met up with friends, I was like, I'm fading fast. We were about to go to registration, so I was gonna walk back to my room to grab a Celsius. On my way there, both of my calves cramped up. Both of them. Like, at the same exact time. As I'm literally just walking, not exerting my legs or anything, just casually walking. Both decide, you know what? Your muscles shouldn't work the way they do right now. Fuck you. So I had to sit, like, on the floor in the corner and hope to God that no one, you know, noticed me. As I am experiencing the worst pain in my life in both of my legs. And all I could do is sit there and try to massage my legs and hope to God I don't have any attention attracted to myself. I genuinely mean it. Those cramps in both of my calves, like, literally, like, hold on, for reference. It was right here. Right in here, in both of my legs. It was genuinely the worst pain of my life. I'm not even joking. So I was just sitting there trying to massage it and hoping to God the pain went away and that I could stretch it. I asked Frey for help in like stretching my calves or stretching the muscles in them so they wouldn't, you know, hurt. And he was a big help, so big shout out to Frey with that. After that, I just picked up a Red Bull from the market instead of getting a Celsius from my room. I'm like, fuck this. I just want to have a good time with friends. So I chugged the Red Bull, didn't really bother with water, should have probably hydrated. The reason why I probably had the cramps is because I wasn't hydrated. I didn't drink enough water that day or eat enough. And I was literally running off of my ADHD medication. But after that, we just ended up going to registration. It was a bit of a clusterfuck outside, but we managed to make our way inside. I was worried it was going to take a little bit. It was going to take a little while. Ended up taking like an hour, give or take, to register. An hour when like the initial huge crowd of people was there. So like this was the line to get into the line, which like zigzagged in the back. But it still ended up being like an hour for registration. And it went pretty well. So I got to hang out with friends. I got to chat. Oh, and here's another good thing about why this MFF was better. None of the clickers. You know, last year, how there were the Bluetooth clickers that would brick your phone if you had Bluetooth enabled? None of that this year. I did not have my phone brick at all. I didn't want to say anything and jinx it on Twitter. That's a benefit why MFF 2024 was good, because I could sit there, listen to my music from my headphones, and I could just enjoy it. So, you know what? MFF already looking better this year. No clickers so far. After that, friends were still registering. I think I wanted to grab food with Jake and Cody. We wanted to go and get something. So I was just thinking like, you know, I'll wait for Jake a little bit. Cody will wait with me and then we'll go and get food. We'll plan something out. So I end up waiting on the side. And then Kyoju comes up to me. He's like, hey, can you hold this? I'm like, this? And he's like, yeah, thanks. And yeah, it's just the Death Wolf head. I'm like, oh, okay. Guess I'll hold on to this for a little bit. And I thought no one would believe me, so I took a picture with it. So yeah, Death Wolf was chilling with me. And then after that, we decided to get some pizza. We decided to get some deep dish. Or at least I know Nova and a bunch of others were asking me like, hey, do you want to do food? And I'm like, I want to do food. Cody and Jake want to do food. I took this opportunity to take charge with getting food for everyone. So I'm like, Nova, how does deep dish pizza sound for the first night of the con for me? And they're like, absolutely. So I took it upon myself to order deep dish pizza for everyone. And everyone was like, well, I kind of want some with like meat. I kind of want a regular one. I'm like, say no more. I'll just order regular pepperoni meat lovers. Done? Done. So I ordered it. Everyone was happy. And the pizza was pretty good. It's just Giordano's deep dish. It was like, I devoured, not gonna lie, like 5 slices of that pizza. And usually I can only eat like 1 to 2 and then I'm full. There was pure liquid coming out of my ass after that because of the cheese in it, but oh my god, it was so worth it. It was so good. I was so fucking hungry. And then what happened was friends gave me a drink when I had no food inside me. So it all hit me really fucking hard. So I was just devouring slice after slice of this pizza. God, it was so good. I loved it. There's me eating it like Mark Wiens. And then there's the drink that I was given. That was a Red Bull vodka. This is me after said Red Bull vodka. And then what happened after that, come 11 p.m., everyone was getting ready to go down to the rave, to dance, to get in fursuit and all that. I decided to go to bed. Legitimately, after that day, after the start of the con, running off of 3 hours of sleep, asthma attack, cramps in both legs, registration, barely any food and water till then, I just wanted to rest. So I took it upon myself to listen to my body and get some good rest. I went to bed at 11 p.m. And you know what? I'm glad that I did, because I had a very eventful rest of my Friday. So Thursday, I would say all in all, a pretty good one. I got to see friends, got to eat some good food, got a couple of drinks, got to hang out. Snowy knows some secret about me that he will not tell me to this day. I'm really fucking confused as to why that is. I don't know what secret it is. He probably already knows. It's already all out there on the internet, but we'll ask him at some point. Maybe we'll raid him and he'll ask, what is the secret you know about Beta? And maybe he'll disclose it to everyone on his stream, because I don't care. Anyways, Thursday, pretty banging day. As you can see, Friday is going to be pretty good, but let's pretend we don't see that and start with when we wake up. Thank you, Celia. Very cool. Start the day. I roll out of bed after a nice shower, get ready to go across the street to the Hilton to get coffee. My rule of thumb, never get coffee in that little market con space area, always go out of your way to the one at the Hilton, because 1, it's cheaper, and 2, there's usually less of a line. And that's what I did. I got my usual, I think I have it like down here, hold on. Yeah, this is how I start my day. Little bagel with cream cheese, and then a venti cold brew coffee with oat milk. And they put my little name on it. Look at that, beta, and then smiley face. I'm so happy. But yeah, I didn't take a picture last day before. Took it that Saturday. I'm pretty basic when it comes to coffee, and I'm pretty simple with it, so I was happy with it. Started the day, met up with friends, met up with like Frey and Drew and Celio. There's Celio. We love Celio. I took a picture of him so far away. I love Celio so much. He is, okay, he turned into such a cuddly teddy bear. Like, I think it was Saturday. And it was so cute and adorable, because he was like, he wanted cuddles, and then he was calling for me, like, where's Beta? He gives good cuddles. I'm like, I do? He's like, Beta! And then he just, it was so cutesy. Story time for later. But we met up with friends, got some coffee, usual routine in the morning. I had my Dealer's Den ticket, which if you don't know, for the Dealer's Den that they did for Friday, they gave you a little voucher. After you finish registration, there was like a little corner where you could get a voucher for Friday to go into the Dealer's Den. It wasn't for Saturday and Sunday, just for Friday, because Friday is the big day that everyone wants to go. I ended up having my voucher for 2:30, give or take, to go to Dealer's. I had a little bit of time to wait in between, so I was hanging out with Jake before then, just kind of going around after getting coffee, and then I decided to partial around in fursuit. Since we're not really doing anything, I'm hanging around. He decided to handle for me, which I really appreciated, and then he took some really nice pics for me. I mean, honestly, like this, I looked like a vibe here, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like the fursuit head and the jacket, it was a pretty good vibe, honestly. I was happy with it. But I ran around the con, got some pics with people, got to see Hugs and Snugs, the big buff Morpholess fursuiter who I've always wanted to get a picture with, who's been wanting to see me for quite a bit. And I got to see him in fursuit. He was such a sweetheart. He gives really good hugs, not gonna lie. I mean, it's in his name, Hugs and Snugs, like, and supposedly he had like appointments for like cuddles and all that, so like, dude's living his best life. I got some really good pictures of him. He's such a sweet bean. Love him to death. But he gave me some good hugs, got to see him, got to say hi to Juiceps, who was really sweet and nice. Got a nice picture with him. And then after that, I went to Dealers, went around, said hi to some people in Dealers, got out of fursuit. After Dealers, I ended up just kind of de-suiting, and then I had a dinner appointment, I think at like 5 p.m. or so. That was when I was going to Fogo de Chao with like Tibbs, Light, a couple of friends and whatnot. So I had to do some stuff in between. Ended up meeting up and saying hi to Cinder. I love Cinder. Had to get the cursed photo as usual. He was just around, and then him and I nerded out about Deadlock. He is a filthy Dynamo main. Fuck him, but I love him, but fuck him for being a Dynamo main. Could be worse, he could be a Bebop main. So we gotta play at some point, Cinder, just saying. Good soup. I had a little bit of time in between, so I popped to Celsius for the day, downed it, did pretty well. I heard that Celio and a few others were going to this Asian supermarket. I can't remember the name of it. It was something like Metsua. It's pretty much like a 10-minute Uber drive there. I'm telling you, it is genuinely fucking good. They had like a little food court area with like restaurants that you could just order some quick food at. I legitimately, if I do MFF again, I might strictly go there. Also, let me tell this story as I'm going through the photos. So I took some photos of the con space, want to take some photos of the banners, Guests of Honor, Nordeva, Blind Coyote, Trio Menagerie. That's pretty cool. Don't know any of those people. But they seem pretty cool if they're GOHs for MFF. Okay, they're pretty neat. That was pretty good. Got a picture with Terrence, the fursuit tailbag person. Ran into Celio, took a picture of his butt, aka his fanny pack that he had. I gotta get a custom cutesy little fanny pack like that. That is really cute. There's me downing a Celsius right there. And there's me at the Asian supermarket. Look at that lovely face of mine. Mwah! Beautiful. But yeah, Metsua, this place was magical. It was so goddamn magical. Literally, so Jake and I ended up going, even though we had our little reservation for Fogo de Chao with friends, literally directly after. So our plan was, I wanted to get a little bit of a snack, like a primer, before eating, just to like, you know, get my stomach ready so I wouldn't go in and give myself shock from like meat sweats and all that. So ended up going here for like a little snack, also to just see what this place was about, because I definitely wanted to go back again. Didn't really go back again because I was really fucking tired on Sunday. But this place had like literally everything. everything. You could literally grocery shop. You could get like prepackaged like seafood and like sushi. Apparently the sushi here was really, really good. Jake ended up having some and he's like, yeah, this is really good for what it's worth. And it's coming from like Chicago too, like a landlocked area, nowhere near the ocean. So I love this place. If you are looking for a place of food that does not have like a food desert, just take like a little short Uber ride to this place. It has literally everything. You get sushi. We ended up getting like giant bottles of soju, like not even, you know how they have mini bottles of soju? Hold on, let me show you. It was like big ass fucking bottles of soju for like $8 a pop. That's insane. So I took what I could get with that and I was thrilled. But this place has everything. You can get all sorts of sushi, all sorts of food. They've got like a grocery store section. They have like a food court section, which was really good. I ended up going to this place called Sutadonya, which had this lemon pepper chicken karage. Oh my god. This was amazing. This was so fucking amazing. And the best part is the meat they used was chicken thigh meat. It was so juicy and fatty and delicious. And this I think was only like $6 for like a thing of chicken, lemon pepper, salt and pepper chicken. It was so good. This was like hands down one of the best like little foods that I had all weekend, minus like fogo de chao, which we had directly after. So Jake and I Ubered to the Asian supermarket. Was really good. Got a little snack there. Then we Ubered directly over to Fogo de Chao. I had to do the Wojak. And that's where we met up with friends to eat some good food. I just kind of sampled it and enjoyed it, honestly. I wasn't feeling like super, super hungry. I just wanted enough to like fill myself up. Not to the point where I'm like sick or anything, but just enough to like enjoy it. Because like, truthfully, I knew I was probably gonna like fursuit or partial eat like later. So I wanted to like not overstuff myself and make myself go into a food coma. So had a little bit of everything. The cheddar biscuits, oh my fucking god, were so good. Little snacks of like pineapple and Parmigiano Reggiano and cheese and pickles. And then this meat here that was pretty good. The sausage was pretty great. The potatoes were good. Whatever, this was lamb. I fucking loved the lamb. Oh my god. Oh my god. I clearly do not have enough lamb in my life. I need to enjoy more of it. And then I had this little drink. Don't know what it was. It was pretty good. But yeah, the lamb was hands down the best part of it. And the cheesy bread. I fucking loved that. After that, we got back to the con. I ran into a few friends and I was feeling it. I was feeling, look, I needed another Celsius and I needed another bit of booze. So what I ended up doing was I went back to my room, got a Celsius. I think Cody wanted to get into fursuit, so I poked him about, you know, maybe handling for him a little bit. And so we hung out. I ended up getting impartial a little bit, ended up getting into my tank top fit, which honestly I think looked pretty good for the night. Was rocking out to the Arcane soundtrack. Look, if you want to know what my playlist for MFF was, it was exclusively the Arcane soundtrack. It really pumps me up. And then I ran into Cody. I love Cody. And also this cute bean. I don't know who this is, but they're adorable and sweet. But yeah, I got to ran into Cody while he was going around. Went to the con space, found that. Oh yeah, and then a friend delivered me the edibles I had asked for. That's how we got a lot of the B cubed of that weekend. It was a good time. But when I was there, I had the rest of the soju that I had, which were the big bottles over yonder. These were like full fucking big bottles, like about like up to the size of this like hydro flask. It was big. So what ended up happening, and this is where I actually lost track of how I organized this con recap. I went around for a little bit. Cody went to get out a suit. I went to go in, refresh up on Ting Tings, got some of my soju. Wonderful selfie right there as I'm getting ready. And then I went back downstairs and ran into Russ and Amlick and Doug. I love Doug. He's such a cutie. Look at that face. He's such a cutie dog. I love him. But yeah, I ran into Ruckus. Or Rufus. Rufus, absolute sweetheart. He destroyed the evil, which was my fursuit head. And then I got this lovely cutesy fursuit photo of all of us booping snoots. I love Amlick. I love Russ. I love those two so much. I'm glad I got to see them at the con. Overall, had a really good night socializing in that little space. So it's literally like second floor right outside the sky bridge, all across like where the fucking, what is it, the fishbowl area, and then the other tower for the hotel rooms. I was just around here. And you know what? I had such a good time. It was good to socialize and hang out, and I could feel the effects of the weed and the booze, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a good night. I think around like 4 a.m., Drew, Celio, and Nova ended up summoning me for more Arcane. We ended up stopping off before MFF and ended up getting to about Act 2. So the end of Act 2, aka episode 6. So we had episode, I think, 7, 8, and then 9. We finished 9 on, like, the last night, since it was an hour-long episode. But I ended up, before heading over, I was like, oh, I want some food. I wonder if the food trucks... Oh, they're not open. So sad. So I was sad in my Kigu on my way over. So I was looking for food. Luckily, Nova ended up saving me an onion ring. And I had that single onion ring, and it was really good. And then Seal and Hunter showed up, and they're like, we should get some food for Arcane. I'm like, you would be doing me such a favor. I ordered chicken strips and mozzarella sticks from Denny's. It was so good. I was living my best life. I was happy. I had Arcane. I was surrounded by good friends, enjoying Arcane, and then eating good, greasy food. The one thing that irked me is how artificial looking the honey mustard looked. I don't know if I was just way too drunk and inebriated, but that honey mustard did not look right. But yeah, after that, ended up going back to my room and ended up wrapping up for the night. So pretty much a good full day. Ended it off with Arcane minus the last episode. So we had one last episode, and now we get on to Saturday. Oh my, there's a lot of lengthy stuff to still go through. So wake up, and look, all this is disorganized. I'll kind of direct you guys. I gave up on putting together this presentation. I was really exhausted at the time, but the coffee saved me. The bagel saved me. Ran into Light, Best Wagon Bro, took some pics with him. Then I ended up going to dealers, going around here and there. After that, literally after I got to dealers, and I saw that there wasn't really much else that I wanted, I could tell my body was really exhausted. So I ended up taking a nap. This is one of those things where you might not believe it, but you should take naps during the day, especially if you're doing things during the night, late into the night at the con. I listened to my body. There wasn't much going on during the daytime that I really wanted to attend. So I just decided, you know what? 1 hour nap to stay off my feet, get some good extra rest, and then I go back out and meet up with friends. And I did exactly that. I ran into Russell, Fluff, Rufus, who actually accompanied me to go and get poutine for my friend Cody and Jake, who wanted a snack before we got food later. So ended up meeting up with them. There's Kusa. I ended up running into Kusa while I was handling for Rufus a little bit, who I was really glad I got to see. And then I just kind of went around as usual. Got some pics of them in like the con space. Ran into Light again before I ended up going to get the poutine. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. And that was the poutine I got. And this was from the food trucks outside. I always try and get poutine from this place because they do a really good job with the food truck poutine. It's just really good. This was the saltiest poutine I've had in my life. I needed like 5 mojitos in order to balance out the salt level in this goddamn poutine. I had half of it and could not finish the rest of it. It was awful. It wasn't bad. I still enjoyed it. I still ate it, but it was just not unsalted. It was so salty, so goddamn salty. But after that, I wanted a snack because Jake was going to be wearing my fursuit again. He was going to be the Jake Wears Shep, and I was really, really excited. Cody Yodi was getting into suit. Jake was getting into my suit, so I decided to handle for both of them. And let me tell you, it was quite the experience handling for multiple fursuiters, especially your own. Literally, 30 seconds into us getting outside the room, I asked Jake, do you need some water? I have some on me. And he starts shaking his ass and doing that little, like, prance video thing, the YouTube short that I uploaded. I'm like, dude, I just asked you for water. So yeah, it looks like he was enjoying it. And you know, that's the thing that really made me happy to see with Jake. Because, like, the first time he wore my fursuit back at Megaplex this year, he was very cautious about, you know, wanting to, like, get it dirty. He didn't want to, like, run off or tear anything. So I could see him do, like, little shimmies, like he wanted to, like, just jump and express all his energy. I'm like, go, dude, like, go have fun. You're having fun. Go have fun. And it looked like he really embraced it this time with all the pics and vids that I took of him. Like, he looked like he had a blast. Oh, it made me so happy to see. But I got a pic of him and Cody in the hallway. Very blurry, kind of Shining style thing. And then we get to the main lobby, and that's where we take a lot of the pics together. This was him and Cody, him, Cody and Light, him, Cody, Yefsi, and Helljumper. Got to see them. Really, really lovely getting to see them, especially Helljumper. Love his suit. And then I just kind of handled for everyone. I kind of handled for everyone there. Ran into Nova and Frey, took some selfies with them. I love the pics that I get with my friends. It's so chaotic. Ran into Alpine too, got a pic with him, and just took some assorted photos of friends. There's Celio being a gremlin. I love Celio. There's the giant Pooh statue. And there's me and Ford. If you're wondering what I was doing here to warrant this facial expression, I was trying to get him to lose his shit while we were taking a photo. So as I was taking the photo button, I went, and that's the screen cap before he lost his shit. Really funny. And there's also Jake and Juiceps. God damn, y'all getting spicy. I wish I got that spicy in my fursuit. I don't even get that spicy in my own fursuit. But overall, pretty good suiting session. I unfortunately stressed myself out because everyone was asking like, oh, what are we doing for food after this? So I took it upon myself while handling for everyone to make sure that 12 to 13 people got food. So I had a group order set up for Portillo's through DoorDash. I have never been that stressed managing so much in my goddamn life. Managing 2 fursuiters, one of which was my own, and ordering food for 12 plus people, and making sure everyone paid me, because I don't have that kind of money. So, needless to say, I was stressed the fuck out. And I did this to myself, you know, truthfully, I did this to myself. However, big shout out to Drew, because when we got to the Headless Lounge, when everyone was there, we were trying to figure out food, he literally went out of his way to help organize this with me. I got the group order ready, he created the group chat for everyone who wanted food, pasted the food link in there, made sure everyone to tell like what their order was, whose name was what, who to PayPal to, who to DoorDash, who to Venmo to. Drew came in so clutch. I love that man to death. Big shout out to Drew, Mountain Drew VR. He came in clutch when I didn't even ask for help. He was my MVP that evening, and I am so extremely grateful for him because we had like multiple people fursuiting, not many people handling, and like one person ordering all this food. So I had to take charge with all that. It ended up working out. I was really thrilled about it, but big shout out to Drew. I wouldn't have been able to do it without him. So what we ended up doing, this is Act 3 of the evening for me. See, I created acts and all that of the day. Act 1 being, you know, early day. Act 2 being middle of the day. Act 3 being late in the evening. I had an amazing little adventure. I ended up getting food. I got my burger and my chicken tendies, and they were delicious. Cody came back with the concoction, Mountain Dew Baja Blast, and Jynn. That fucker hit like a truck. And this is Saturday, by the way, Saturday evening. Even after all that food, hit me like a truck, but I still loved it so goddamn much. Kyoju and I went on a beta adventure. After beta had taken an edible and drinking a bit of his concoction, we were like, oh, we should just take the stairs down. Because everyone had filled up the elevator, everyone was heading down to like the dance, which is what we were getting in line for. This, in the room beforehand, this is where the photo was taken by Frey. I think I was stretching like I usually, you know how I stretch like this? I was doing that, and I was really getting into it, and Frey snapped a photo. It was the best fucking thing ever. This is so good. So after we were in the room, we all decided to head downstairs after Kyoju did a tequila shot for us, which was really, really good. We went to the elevators to head downstairs. The elevators were full, and it was just Kyoju, and I'm like, oh, why don't we take the stairs? Let's go on a beta adventure. So we did. This is what we found at the bottom. A door with no fucking handlebar on it. So we go down one more into, like, the most out-of-pocket basement area. We open the door, the random door there. We walk in, and it's just this, like, utility closet area, and we see at the end of it just one of those pull-out, like, foldable tables with, like, bleach bottles on top. I think we fucking encountered Breaking Bad in the MFF hotel. So we went up a floor, tried this door. This just ended up being, like, a parking garage with, like, no one in it. And then we went up one more floor, and then we made it to, like, the main lobby area. It's like, okay. So we went on a little beta adventure, Kyoju and I, to the back rooms. I'm really glad that Kyoju and I had that adventure. It was so fucking funny. It was so good. I'm glad that Kyoju was there with me for that. Then we got in line to go to like the dance area. Everyone was doing like the fursuit AI picture thing. And then we ended up just kind of going around. I waited in line with everyone, even though I had my bag with me. I couldn't go into the rave because they weren't allowing bags in the rave. So it's like, well, whatever. Ended up holding on to everyone's booze and everyone's drinks that they had for the evening. And I kind of just didn't even go into the rave. Didn't really bother because I just wasn't really feeling it. So I just kind of went around and said hi to friends. There's a lot that's happening here, but there's a lot in between that did happen. I managed to get back to like the second floor area where all the fursuiters and friends were. That's where I ran into Iggy and Ford. And then I ran into Rush and Russ and a couple of other friends. And that's where I ended up planting myself in that little L-shaped couch area right about here in the main con space on the second floor. This is when the edibles and the weed were kicking in hard. And this was also when I asked Rush if he wanted to split an edible with me. And I'm like, hey, we want to split an edible? He's like, oh yeah, sure, let's do it. Long story short, accidentally gave him the full edible. I forgot to split it in half, and he just took the full thing, 10 milligrams. I took half of one, and we both had a time. He said he got really high and had an amazing time. And then there I am just still drinking more, you know, of my drink. And it was funny. I think it evened out for me a little bit in terms of more drink. Because here's the thing, Jake. I was holding on to your drink too, remember? Remember the concoction of the Jynn and Baja Blast? I had taken a sip of it. I'm like, oh, this shit is awful. Where's some, like, water? I need to, like, wash this down. So without thinking, I grab whatever bottle in my bag, take a huge swig of it, and it's more Baja Blast and Jynn. It was your drink in my bag. So I'm like, oh no. So I ended up washing that down with water, and I was gone. And this is at the point where my friend Silo had asked me, hey, do you want fursuit cuddles? I'm like, that sounds amazing right now. I'm kind of in a predicament where I can't give fursuit cuddles for reasons I shall not name currently. But I was like, hey, I'm gonna be down in the main lobby. If you want to come over and say hi, you're more than welcome to. I just, you know, I don't want to make you uncomfy with certain things that are on me at the moment in time. So, you know, just fair warning with that. He's like, I appreciate you telling me. Thank you so much. I'll be on over. Eventually, Silo ended up joining me, and he just kind of flopped on that L-shaped couch, and I cuddled the fuck out of him for like an hour and a half. And it was awesome. I think it was me, Silo, and Caden. Our friend Caden joined us. I'm like, Caden, come cuddle the big puppy. And then I was sending sending Jake all these videos. He's like, hey, are you doing okay? Where are you? I'm like, Jake, I found a big puppy. Yeah, I had an amazing night. That was me outside the rave before, you know, leaving everyone, before everyone went in. And then that was just me and Silo just like cuddling on the couch as I am just glazed out of my mind. Oh my God. We were at fully formed B cubed. It wasn't B2, just like drinky, weed, beta. It was both cross-faded, and it was a good time. It was really fun. But eventually 3 to 4 a.m. rolled around, and that's when I got roll call again to watch the final episode of Arcane. So I ended up heading back to my room. Oh my God, dude, I was gone. It was bad. But I ended up getting into my Kigu and heading over to Nova's room, in which we watched the rest of Arcane, and I was sad because Arcane is over, but I was happy because I got to watch Arcane. And also, I think Jake joined us that evening for a little bit too, and he got to see Celio wanting to cuddle me because Celio was just, it was drinky Celio, and he had a great time. And it literally was like, I was being called not just for Arcane, but because Celio wanted cuddles, and I guess I was the first person he thought of when he wanted cuddles. He was like, Beta, come here. And I'm like, okay, fine. And so I just like cuddled with Celio while we watched Arcane, and it was great. What a great Saturday night to the con. So yeah, that ended up being the evening. Lots of drinks, lots of tink-tinks, lots of good vibes. I enjoyed it all in all. And now we lead into Sunday, which honestly was a bit of like a mesh clusterfuck, not really. So what had happened was I was so drunk, I thought I had lost my AirPods. Turns out they were just in my laundry. I forgot that I just threw them in my shorts pocket without putting on my Kigu, and then whoop, forgot about them. So found my AirPods in the morning. Woke up, got my usual coffee, walked across the street to the Hilton. Surprisingly, it was pretty warm outside. I think it was like 40 degrees outside. It really didn't, I think I just needed like, just barely like my zip up hoodie, and I was fine. So ended up getting coffee, and then Snowy kidnapped me to go and get food at the mall food court with him, which, bless his soul, he really came in clutch for me, and with kidnapping me to go and get food, it really meant a lot. So big shout out to Snowy for that, for helping me out get food that day. But I ended up going with Jake and a few others to get some food at the food court, but ended up going to the food court. I desperately needed a pick-me-up after all the booze, after all the walking. So I went and got some ramen. Jake got some ramen with me. Wait, Beta in jeans? Yeah, I wore jeans this time. They were really baggy on me. I mean, they looked okay. They looked good, honestly. I mean, I liked this was my fit for the day. The shirt that I had, and then the jeans. I didn't have any more sweatpants, truthfully, and I wanted to save the last pair for my flight home because it was gonna be, you know, more of a comfort flight. I don't know how I look in, like, he didn't even wear shoes. I know, no shoes, just the socks. Just walking around in socks around the con. What a bummer. But ended up going to the mall to get ramen. This ramen hit the fucking spot. For it being mall ramen, it was pretty great. I ended up getting, what are those balls of squid? Fried balls of squid again? What are they called again? I got that, and it was so fucking delicious. And then the ramen was healing, which is what I needed for the rest of the day. All in all, food was good. We ended up getting some ice cream after, which that was really good. It was like a gelato with like a little, macaron on the top. It was actually really delicious. This was like a coconut and blueberry cheesecake. Oh, it was so good. I haven't had ice cream that good in so long. But after that, ran into the Yip Yap Yop fursuiter who just handed me this and went on their day. And then after that, I ended up grabbing dinner with Light and Tibbs, and we went to the Red Bar at the main hotel. The burger there, even though it's $18 for a burger, it was actually really good. It was actually very well seasoned, very juicy, and very delicious. So I'm pretty happy with how the burger turned out. Before dinner, after I had just gotten back from ramen, I ended up suiting as Coyote. I ended up getting a fursuit as Cody. And you know what? I looked pretty good while doing it, truthfully. I was like the second person ever to wear his fursuit, and I got some really good pics with him. It was my first time going incognito at a furry convention. And you know what? I loved it. Where are some of the photos? Okay, here's some of the photos of me in Coyote. This is when Evan had gone around to take pics with me. This is when Cody ended up taking a few pics too. This is me going around. Oh, I looked so good. I looked really good as Cody in suit. God damn. I had the Incogyote, or as the new nickname for Beta as Coyote is Bodhi. And you know, I looked really cutesy. Oh, made me so happy. And then I ran into Snowy in suit. Didn't actually get a photo of him when I was in suit, but you know, when I was Cody in suit, so you know, I'll take what I can get. But there's Snowy. We love Snarry. A few more photos of me. Ran into Armin. That was a really cute photo of us together. Can't wait to see the photos that Evan ends up getting of us. Oh, dang. Look it. I'm really good at supposedly going with the battle pass, sexy looking fursuiter vibe. So, yeah, I definitely was pulling off more of this sort of look. And you know what? Pretty good. Ran into Rocket as well. Got some photos with him. I think is that ibuprofen? That's like Advil or something. That's funny. Got some cutesy photos with him. Ended up going in suit for like a good hour or two, give or take, which honestly, I will say, as much as I loved getting a suit as Cody, it was probably the hottest fursuit I'd ever worn. Not in terms of just, you know, being a hot fursuit, but also being like just physically hot in general. The head had like zero ventilation and I was dripping. I think my balaclava was the hottest and the most wet part of all the Under Armour that I had on me. All in all, I had a pretty good time. I'll do a video discussing it later on my incognito experience as, you know, a fursuiter at a furry convention, outside of being Beta Eta Delota or Levi or anything. First time having sort of an incognito experience, just being able to go around a con space without being stopped, without being known as Beta. Not that, you know, I'm opposed to it or anything. It's just, it's different and it's nice to just have like a free experience just to do that. So I liked it, and I'll talk about it further in a video of what my experience was like going incognito at a furry convention. So look forward to that video when you do. I have a bunch of videos and footage and whatnot that Cody took of me going around the con as Coyote, so that made me happy. But got to do that pretty much well into the evening. Ended up getting food. After that, I ended up packing a little bit, and then overall just ended up chilling in the con space, saying hi to friends, having a couple of tinks and drinks with a few before I ended up wrapping up for the evening. And then I had my anniversary with Ford, where we watched Hey Andy Sweetie. This con, MFF 2023, was where I introduced him to the absolute joy that is Hey Andy Sweetie. So if you were ever wondering where that came from, I introduced him to that. And so we had to experience it again in the con lobby on speaker. God bless. God bless. I loved it. It made me so happy. But that pretty much wrapped it up for Sunday. Just ended up going around the con space, took a couple of photos, chilled in like the L-shaped couch area. Took a couple of photos there. There's me and Drew. Drew and I hung out a little bit before we ended up wrapping it up for the evening. Ended up taking the balcony photo, which I'll have a video talking about that little tidbit of furry meme drama that happened at the convention. We'll talk about that in the car. Ended up taking that photo, and then I ended up just kind of going to bed. And then I got ready for my flight in the next morning to go back home. And that, in totality, along with all of these photos of my face, courtesy of Frey, is my MFF 2024 con experience. It was so fun. I had an absolute blast. Just going to the con, hanging out with friends, going on adventures, getting good food. That's all you could really ask for. That's all I really wanted. That and like tink-tinks and drinking and hanging out with friends and going on weird unhinged adventures into the back rooms like with Kyoju. So honestly, like I had a blast. I had an absolute blast, and I'm glad that I went to this con. I know MFF is one of those cons where a lot of people think it's like hit or miss, or you just don't want to go because of size. And at the end of the day, you know, MFF or any convention is what you make of it. And it's the people that you surround yourself with. And for me, it very much was that. I had such an amazing time just being able to hang out with the friends that I do. I really don't ask for much with the con, unless it's just, unless it's like such a bad con experience. Overall, like I can just have a good time going around with friends and going on adventures. That's really it. And if these pictures and expressions from my face aren't, you know, an example of it, then I don't know what is, okay? I just had a good time. That's really all to really say. I don't know. There's nothing else to really share, just besides it was a good con. That's why a lot of these con recaps honestly are hard for me to do, just because I don't really know what else to say besides, oh, I did my usual thing. I got booze, I got drinks, I had good times with friends. But regardless, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I appreciate all the love and the support. You all are amazing, wonderful. Thank you all so, so much. Until next time, have a good night, take care, life stay jacket, treat people like people, remember that. And that's about it for me, guys. Bye.